Hi there, welcome to another text and talk about the Heinlein patch 130. What's going to be in the Heinlein patch? This will be exclusively about the Heinlein patch, not about the Leviathans DLC. I have another video coming for that because that's going to be a long video. You'll already see I have all the dev diaries open. I also have a Reddit thread where everyone contributed what's in there. I'm also a little bit on Reddit, and I love the place. Like, the people are getting so much information to you. You should really, if you're really interested in these changes, like I'm bringing them to you, but they are also like, what cannot a community do? Like, what can't they do? Like, Reddit is really awesome. So we have like the exhaustive list of the Heinlein update. What's going to come to us? Like, for free, there's Awakened Fallen Empires, Fallen Empire quests, tasks, general improvements, fleet roles, new XL weapons, weapon balance reworks, Federation victory conditions, strategic resource rework, auto-exploration, rally points, expansion planner, habitability system rework, Federation alliance rework, Federation association status, better control over sectors, 4 new portraits, major sound and graphics improvements, space creature rework, including new art and encounters, lots of bug fixes, AI improvements, and UI improvements. So let's have a look at these in detail, like as the dev diaries were coming. So what do you have? Auto Explore. So that's essentially the same that you may have in Civ 5. You can set your science ships on Auto Explore, and you can like finer adjust these with setting them to passive or evasive or whatever you like. Like, I would recommend setting them to evasive if you're setting them on auto explore, or you will lose them. Then we have rally points. That's going to be pretty great for the later game. You have the ability to set a rally point in a system where all your new fleets will be delivered to, so to say. The spaceships, once they spawn, once they're built, they will fly to that system. That's going to be awesome. There's an expansion planner. If you know Master of Orion 2, I think it's going to be similar to that. You will have a list of planets that you can colonize, or that you can build resource or observation stations at. It's a tab in your Empire screen where you can filter by what you are looking for and easily see the best candidate planet for whatever it is you are looking to do. So it's really going to be very good for the bigger game. The mid and end game improvement is going to be awesome. I made it that far in my very long Let's Play. That's very far into the late game that I renamed systems like colonize here next and something like that with that race, that species. And this is going to be very helpful. It's just a side note here, but it's so going to help. There's also something that wasn't mentioned there. There's going to come a new map generator where you can adjust more things like how many worlds should be habitable and like all of this, just in more detail, just like in Civ for example. Like, that's going to be awesome. Like, for more and like more individually generated universes. There's strategic resource rework. That's going to be very helpful. There was always the thing that you had a resource in a sector, but you couldn't access it anywhere else, and they are going to clean up that stuff. So that's going to be good. So next thing is about the fleet and fleet roles. So corvettes are now fast, agile ships that excel in taking out capital ships at close range. Destroyers are screens for the capital ships against the corvettes, and also countering missiles and strikecraft. Cruisers are close-range capital ship brawlers that tank enemy fire and engage enemy destroyers and capital ships. Again, capital ships. But also against the shields, the destroyers. And battleships are artillery, so heavy damage, and carrier ships that provide long-range fire support. And new slots, torpedo slots, close-range, extreme damage, point defense slots, mounting point defense cannons, against the torpedoes, against the fighter crafts, against the missiles. Extra large slots for very massive long-range weapons for these battleships. And utility slot rework also. And Misc changes. I'm not going to go into the details. Just have a look there. There's a torpedo slot here. There's a point defense slot. So everything is going to be more defined. You can have more defined roles for your fleet. You can split these up in a corvette fleet and in a capital ship fleet, and you can position them on different points on the map, and it will all make more sense instead of going like Deathball against Deathball like it is at the moment, like basically. So, what's next? There's the Federation Alliance merger. The basic thing about this is there's no more alliances. It's all integrated in the Federation, so it's basically an alliance with many more members, and you can have Federation Association status, so the Federation can have a policy itself with other empires, and they will gain trust with any of the members of the Federation and this is basically a non-aggressive pact. Then we have the planet habitability changes that are very big, like you have now 9 different habitabilities. Like, habitability for your main planet type is 80%. So if you have one of these, the one where you originally started is 80%. Your home planet is 100%. And then the next planet you are here, like in the dry section, maybe it's Savannah, is 80%. And all these others in your climate, so also desert and arid, would be 60% habitability, so it's no problem to settle here. Because you can now, like, where you can settle is now determined by habitability, not anymore by tax. So you have these 3 types, you go for one, and then you basically have free colonization on your type. And with some difficulty, like the other climates are at 20% habitability, so you probably won't settle there at the beginning. Later on, maybe with other species, maybe it's going to be a much more dynamic system. Earlier on, you had the problem. You had like these 3 Arctic planets. You had the species for it, but you didn't get the tech. That's not going to happen anymore. So you have a 30% minimum habitability requirement to colonize a planet. So what this means is, like, you have 20% on these. If you have better adaptability, which raises your habitability for your race, then you can, from the start, settle on every planet you have. Like, your people will be bleeding there. They will hate it, but you will be able to settle there if you want it. If you want it. You can then add some buildings, but you cannot go over the 30%. Like, you cannot go over the habitability. So you can do it if you want, but maybe you shouldn't. Yeah, there it is. More galaxy setup options. Maximum number of fallen empires, chance of habitable worlds spawning. Whether to allow advanced empires to start near players. That's very helpful. Like, you could look for a challenge, but you probably are not keen on having a militarist advanced empire start near you and just say hello with a fleet of 5k at the start of the game and eliminate you. That's not going to be fun. So you can stop that. If you want to, though, you can totally do it still. So whether to use empire clustering, what does that mean? Like, if you have a whole empire, or if you can have different parts in different parts of the galaxy, or not. And endgame crisis, you can make them on or off. So if you like the endgame crisis, take them on or off. If you want to test something, or if you're like more into the continuous thing of playing and don't want these distractions to distract your perfect plan, then, like, stop the endgame crisis. It's totally, I mean, it's like basically you're playing SimCity and you don't want the pesky disasters to happen. Like that's basically the difference. If you like the disasters, oh, there's a change now in the scenery, and there's a mountain now instead of a city, and what do we do with a mountain? If you like that, then you will also like Endgame Crisis. If you don't like that, then there's a chance you don't like the Endgame Crisis. I really love them, but I don't like the disasters in SimCity. So there's a mix of two also. So the Endgame Crisis are really interesting, but if you don't like them, you can stop them now. Also, sector improvements, enslavement, emancipation. Can they build spaceport construction ships? This was a big thing, like you had so many construction ships, it was unbearable sometimes. Whether the sector is allowed to build military stations or not. Like, this will replace the military sector focus, which was useless except for border sections. Now you have that option, which is very, very good. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty big improvement for sector management. So what else do we have? The Fallen can awaken now. Formerly you had the Fallen Empire sitting somewhere waiting for something, and they would never change. They would sometimes ask you to leave some planets or something like that, but really nothing particular would happen about their area. They wouldn't expand or something. Now they can awaken. Like, if you're growing too strong, technologically advanced, if endgame crises are threatening them or the galaxy, if other fallen empires are being defeated by regular empires, if other empires are awakening, then they might awaken and may start a chain reaction. I mean, look at this. It can go on and trigger itself. And they also have some specialized personalities now. And depending on their personality, they will do something with the awakening. The isolationists become reclaimers, will try to conquer the galaxy. The holy guardians become enforcers, will try to convert the galaxy. The observers become interventionists and want to sign a galactic peace treaty. The keepers of knowledge become watchful regulators and try to force all empires to accept their technological primacy. Oh, and you can also be a subject of the fallen empire, and there are certain negative but also positive points for that. Like, they will help you a bit, they will protect you a bit, but you'll also be subject of them. So that is something you can do to survive. If you're confronted with an awakened, totally aggressive empire, you can be their subject for a while and then break out again. That's going to be awesome as well. There's personality changes, of course, which I've already said, and new designs. Like, to be there's going to be really massive. I'm sorry, I just had to check the mic. There's going to be really massive ships there. Really massive ships, like one class above battleships that are going to be there for the fallen empires. So you're going to be confronted with these giant ships. And then the War in Heaven, but that is only if you buy the DLC, for which I have a special video. Then there's Space Creature Rework. You have these space creatures. You had them before, but they were just singular opponents. Like, they were just there, and then you defeated them, and they were away. Now they are like brood mothers. Also, pirates now count as that. They have a mother station, like space piracy you see here. And basically is that they will have a home system from where smaller entities of them spawn. And if you destroy the mother creatures at the home system, then this spawning will stop. And then you will get here power and reward rebalancing. You'll get much better and much more adapted, according to their strength, rewards for doing that. So there's going to be something awesome, and maybe as a xenophile you may also interact or protect these systems. That would be awesome as well. I don't know if that's in there, but they should maybe add that, right? It would be awesome. It would be an alternative for the xenophiles to not destroy all the beautiful space creatures. So, the ship roles, we already talked about these. Here are some nice images. So there are also the new designs. You have the Giga Cannon with extra large slots now. And there's a major weapon rebalancing with tracking evasion. So evasion is not going to be there any longer. It's not like the thing you go for because you have nothing against it. Instead, you have tracking against evasion and armor against damage, basically. So, and like shields for hit points. Like that's going to be the whole thing. So there are two systems of damage and damage reduction, which is armor and evasion. And there's one system of adding hit points, which is the shields. So that's going to be that. The ship roads we already have. The corvettes are up against the large ships. The destroyers against the corvettes. The cruisers are like a mix. They can go up against the destroyers mostly, protecting the battleships. The battleships are the heavy artillery that needs to be protected. But they can also be tanks if you equip them right? That's going to be the changes there. Then we have here the enclaves feature. That's also something adding flavor to the DLC. You have the Guardians that are also part of the DLC, but they are also part of the Space Creature rework. And we have new sound design, the Dragon Roar. Very nice. And the Starfish High. Very nice. And we have a comparison of the old combat sounds. Yeah, it's nice, but it's a little bit... Yeah, it's a little bit mechanically, a little bit rough. There's the new combat sounds. There's a more bass, right? It's a fuller sound. It's more musical also. Speaking of music, there's the Dragon Breath music of Voldetoft. It's going to be really hype. I mean, I'm really getting into it. Let's see if we'll just let it play for the last part here. What do we have also? We have improved bloom shaders. So everything is going to be looking a lot nicer. Everything is glowing finer. I'm adding more stuff. It's a little bit loud, right? And of course, there's the Reddit thread. What changes to government, ethics and traits do we know about? They have summed it up. So, materialists get building cost minus 5%. Pretty helpful. Spiritualists get ethics divergence minus 10% now. Individualists, policy happiness impact minus 20%, which means if you do a policy, let's say on AI outlawing, then your materialists will be pissed off. But if you're individualist... Oh, it's really loud. If you're individualist, that won't be so tough. And if you're fanatic individualist, they will say, yeah, okay, of course. It's not that tragical that they outlawed the AI. It's okay, and you will have minus 60% policy happiness impact. On the other hand, if you're doing a policy that makes them happy, that won't affect you that much as well. Like, they are for themselves. They are not really that much into like the policies. And migration attraction plus 10% for the individualists, also pretty cool. Collectivists have faction suppression and cost decreased. which makes absolutely sense. Militarists have a monthly influence gain that is higher. Like, not only the rivalry gain. Pacifists, I'm not sure, maybe this is... I think they have increased the trust growth for pacifists even more. And the rivalry influence gain, it was like mirrored, so they are just that much better in building trust as they are weaker in getting rivalry influence. And xenophiles have lower diplomatic influence cost, and xenophobes have more maximum rivalries, and they have better planet borders. So if you're xenophobe, you have better borders. That's something different. That's really a big difference. Graphics and portraits. You have these three features. The humanoids. Like these Klingon-likes, the elves, the Vulcans, the Cardassians, and totally strange space creatures here. Oh, I'm totally chilled out by the music. I'm sorry if I cannot get the hype going. I'm just... Andreas Waldetoft, I blame you. I blame you. I have to buy the Leviathan's DLC only for the music. But there's going to be a lot of changes in the Heinlein patch, and they are totally, like in the sum, they're all good. I cannot find anything bad about it. They've just improved the game once more, and this is why I like Paradox so much. They might have some strange starting points with their games, but they're listening to the community, and then they're doing it right after a while. Like, you have to give them time, and then the game becomes better and better, and then becomes a big success. Like EU4, it was good. It was a success at the start, but it's better and better all the time. So I hope you liked the video about the changes coming to Stellaris with the Heinlein patch, the free features. If you like the video, just subscribe. I'm regularly doing these news videos to inform you, because I'm reading this stuff anyways. I like to have an overview myself, and I want to share it, because if you're informed about the game, it's like a much better experience if you know what you do. Like, if you know the rules, the new rules for the game, it's much more fun if you can adjust little things that make your game go better. If you just know what you'll be like excited about, what's coming, like the fallen empires that awaken are going to be pretty good from the story standpoint. That's going to be very fun. So thank you for watching. Happy gaming to you, and see you in the next video about Stellaris. Maybe the Let's Play, maybe an info video, maybe a guide. I'd be happy to hear from you. This is Immanuel signing out.